Okay, so you've heard my introduction. We've talked about the legal and handbook updates. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is our deep responsibility and commitment to creating environments that are successful for each of our children. So I'm going to spend a few minutes kind of talking about our approach to our kids and what we want this year to really be about as far as building relationships with our kids. And then there's a YouTube TED Talk that I would like you to watch. It's only about 8 minutes, so it won't be too long. And then there's some SurveyMonkey questions after that, and that will be the end of our 21st Century Back to School staff meeting. So I went into education, and I believe we all did because we believed that we could use our lives to make each and every one of our children's lives better. And that by doing so, we make a better world and a world that's better for ourselves, our children, the people that we love. So let's commit to in 2016 and 17 now, make the assumption that every single child, each child that comes into your classroom is brilliant. Each child that comes into your classroom is extraordinary. Each child that comes into your classroom this year for 2016 and 17 is awesome and has the potential to do awesome things. And I really believe that that's true. So let's get our heart and our minds there that every single child that comes into your classroom is awesome and brilliant and exceptional and extraordinary and is going to do awesome things in their life. So each child that comes into your classroom, you as their teacher will be forever part of their story. So whether you're their kindergarten teacher and you're starting them on their elementary school story, or you're their second grade teacher, or their fourth grade teacher, or their fifth grade teacher, or their Spanish teacher, or their art teacher, or their PE teacher, or any other staff member that's interacting with them, you are forever part of their story. So for some of the children that come to you, they have had all privilege available. They're packed with the privilege that the world has to give them. They've had parents who read to them and took them to gymnastics, and they went to summer camp this summer, and they traveled to Europe. And some of our children, that's their case. And you need to be a critical part to that child's story by pushing them and saying, you have all this opportunity in your life. What are you going to do with it? How can I help you think differently? How can I help you build a skill you don't yet have? How can I give you something that is going to make you say, I never thought about that. Oh, I have worked hard today. Because those children deserve that. They deserve to be learning and working hard so that they are most equipped to make our world better when they leave Brooks Global. Some of your kids are going to come to you, and they also have that opportunity, but they just are not motivated. They don't care. They are just, flying through. Maybe they're interested, maybe they're not. What part of their story are you going to play? How are you going to be the teacher that says, you know what, last year I know that you did not live up to being extraordinary and awesome, but this year you are. It's not okay for you to not do it. You're going to do it, and you're going to do it awesome, and I believe in you, and I'm going to make sure that that happens. Some of your children are down on themselves. Some of your children don't believe in themselves. They're checked out. They don't believe that extraordinary is possible for them. They don't believe that they really can be something. Some of their parents don't believe that about them. What part of their story are you going to play? Because I believe that this school year, for those children, you can be where the story changes. They might be a senior in high school or a freshman in college and say, up until third grade, I really didn't believe in myself. But in third grade, I have this teacher, and he made me believe in myself. And my story became different. Because every child here is writing their story. And the question is, what part will you play in that story? My personal belief and why I went into teaching was because I wanted any kid that I interacted with to be able to say that I made their story a better story than if they had not ever had Miss Wheeler or Miss Clemens. And I still believe that as a principal. How am I using my interactions with kids to make their stories better? because we are part of their story. Them coming to our school makes us part of their story. So whether it's the high achieving child who's had every opportunity, how do I make that child's story better? How do I make the child who's not motivated but has so much potential, how do I make their story better? And I really think we're judged. But how do we make the story of the child who doesn't believe in themselves and the parent who doesn't believe in their child for whatever reason? Things are hard for whatever reason. How do we make their story better? Because that's why I went into teaching. And that's what I believe the power you have for each of these children. We heard a speaker at our School Leadership Institute, Principal Cavelli, and he was a high-achieving principal in some hard schools in New York City. And he's had this quote, and so I'm going to leave it with that, and then we'll be watching a quick YouTube video about building relationships, and then we'll do some questions about how we're going to work on doing that here at the beginning of the school year. What if you lived with the belief that every one of your children will be highly successful, that you will not accept average? What if you said to each one of them, I expect excellence from the kids who come, those kids that are ready to learn and excel, and I expect excellence from the ones that are challenges, who someone else wrote off? What if you had the attitude that not you, not in your class, not in our school, that there is no child who you will not make sure achieves excellence? So I hope that that's something that you will take to heart this year, that whatever child is coming into your room for the next school year, you believe in the excellence that they can have. You make their parents believe in the excellence that they can have. You deeply believe in the excellence that they can have. And that you add to their story so that when they leave your classroom, for every one of those 25 children, or every one of the kids that comes out of your PE room or art room or music room or Spanish room, for every one of them, their story is better for having you as their teacher for this school year.